Hello everyone, it's Annette Green here. It is week 22 of 2025 and I'm working in my planner today because it's the end of the month. Tomorrow will be June 1st. Every week I do a craft or craft related video and you see two planners here. This particular one is the first part of 2025 where I do a weekly page in my little memory keeping planner here. There's all kinds of tips and things. And if you don't know about it, I do have a Facebook group. It is called Weekly Memory Keeping with Annette. And we have a group there where everybody's posting their weekly pages and there's all kinds of inspiration, encouragement, ideas, and so forth. But I get to a point every year when I do these that my book becomes completely full about halfway through the year. So I'm going to take out the beginning of June. This is my dashboard for June. And see how this is really full here? So I'm going to pop these back in from the back to the front, and then we'll take a look at the last month's worth of pictures and pages as a little bit of a recap, because I don't do a planner video every week like I used to. I do one at the end of the month, but I give you a little bit of a look at what I've been doing. So if we go back to the beginning of May, here's the dashboard for May. I'm pretty sure we worked on this one the last time with the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo there. So May's little dashboard, cute for the season. And then we have the Farmer's Market, which so much of this is now with my Sunny Days release with Elizabeth Craft Designs. So we have my cute little basket from the Bunny and Basket set that I have a die for. The flowers are from probably a nature set from last release, as well as these little mushrooms. But the Farmer's Market here in Traveler's Rest started back up again, so I just documented that. There's some little goats there. There's the Farmer's Market. Used a little bit of fruit, but definitely my papers, my frames, and things from my new release. And then week 19 and 20, I was on an Alaska crafting cruise, which I've talked about here. I use the photo pocket pages for all of these. I just kind of interchange, as you can see. Sometimes it's a pocket page, sometimes it's not. But here is our wonderful little crafting cruise to Alaska. My husband came along. We had a great turnout with 26 crafters. And of course, it was Alaska, so it was amazing. And then last week was the final one that I did, and that was featuring the Beyond the Burrow Public Art Project here in Traveler's Rest, where they have these painted rabbit sculptures all around town, and you have to find them, and they have a little story behind each of them. So I included the story on the back, and that just sort of ended May. So now we're in the crossover of the end of May into June for week 22. So I'm going to move on to my second planner, and this is the Bermuda Blue, by the way. And of course, Elizabeth Craft Designs has many planners of different colors, different finishes, different, some are embossed, some are leather. So you need to just check it out. And of course, there's the Sidekick size, but this is the full-size planner. And here is the beginning of June, which is technically going to be tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to work on today. Now, people who do weekly memory keeping, we all run into this same issue, and that is sometimes nothing happens. So what are you going to document when nothing happens? Well, believe it or not, I had one of those weeks, and it just got away from me. I was just busy. I was working. I was creating. I was crafting, playing around. I made some shrinky dinks with some of my Beetles and Bugs set here. Kind of melted them in my little mini pancake maker and had fun doing that. And then I have some fridge magnets. I'll go grab those. These were very easy and fun to make. And if you follow me on social media, you've already seen them. But these are some of my stamps and dies that I have, coordinating combo sets. And there's magnet sheets on the back of each one of these, and they make the cutest little fridge magnets. So sometimes I do little projects like that during the week, and it's nothing to document, like I'll make a reel on Instagram or whatnot. So if you wanted to see those magnets being made and you aren't following me yet, Facebook and Instagram, I will put in the link below so you can kind of follow me and see when I do little projects like that. So anyway, the point is I didn't have anything that I took pictures of this week. I didn't do anything great. So I got to thinking, because this is always the question people say, like, what do I document when I don't do anything? Well, I'm reading a book right now. I love Stephen King. The book is called Holly. And I thought, you know what? I really love Stephen King. I've been reading Stephen King since I was a teenager. And I know that a lot of you are not big Stephen King fans out there, but those that are, you get it. You get me, you get it. So he is not all about gore and horror and scary stuff. He's an amazing, exceptional writer. Very, very successful over the years. I mean, here's a list of all the books he's ever written, and he's won numerous awards, and I just love his style. So I picked this up recently, and I'm enjoying it. I'm about not even halfway through, and I love it like I love all his books. So I got to thinking, wouldn't it be great to make a page about reading and feature this particular book? But then I went on to Reddit, and I found, well, actually just went to Google, but I found this through Reddit, all the lists of books that Stephen King has ever written by year, and then sorted by category. So I thought, wouldn't it be great to go through and see how many books of his have I read? All right, so that started the whole thought process, like, okay, maybe I can have some sort of list. I can have a picture of this book and list all the books of his that I have actually read. Trying to pull all that together. So I've got my book picture that I took. I've got the list here that I'm going to work off of. I've got my page, of course. And in one of my papers from Beautiful Bounty, I have these library cards, which I thought would be perfect for the journaling about books. So I think I'm going to pick this one with the bird. It's sort of, I mean, it's not a creepy bird. It's not scary, but out of all of these, I think that ties in with the theme pretty well. So I'm going to use that for my journaling. And then I went to my stamps and my dies, just kind of had a feeling that we had some things with Elizabeth Craft Designs that had to do with reading. This is a very old stamp set. It's called Planted with Love. So it's more about nature and plantings and stuff. But if you can see the girl here, she's sitting and reading a book. So she might get worked into the plan. And then, of course, there's a more recent stamp set. This is the Bookstore stamp and die set. And this one has a girl reading a book as well. A little bit different, a little more loose and cartoony. So I think I'm going to use the first one, but there's a lot of things in here like read this, library card, books, date due, you know, bookstore, things like that. So I pulled that one out and see if we'll use some of that. And then I just knew that we had either a die or a stamp that had a stack of books. This is from a very old stamp and die set. It was a special, and it's called the Phone Booth Special Kit. But thanks to Kathy Carpenter, who I don't know if she views my videos or not, but in Facebook, I put out a call out like, where do we have some books? I know we have some. And she showed me. And so there is this stack of books. I'm definitely going to use those on my page. Of course, there's a ton of other things on this set that are great, but just the books is what I want for this. And then just to kind of frame out my picture, if I use it of this, I might just fussy cut the actual book from the photo, or I might use some of my picture frames and mats. So I pulled those out. And of course, my classic alphabet is what I use for my week numbers every week. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is start getting all my elements ready. And this is why we use a stamp platform. I didn't a moment ago. Got a big old hole right there. So I restamped it there in my platform. This is just the mini Misty. And I'm just stamping a couple of things. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use yet. So I'm just grabbing a few off of this particular set that has all this good stuff on it. Don't need to think about it. Actually, I picked this big one because I might use this instead. So just getting a few things stamped out just on some ivory cardstock without a real hard and fast plan here. You don't have to think too hard at the beginning. Okay, and then I also have die cut those books. So there's all the little individual books and a shelf. I'm going to leave them right on the card. We lost our little bookends here. I'll pop those back in. And I stamped out my girl. I have to fussy cut her. And the only other thing we need is the book. So until I have my sizes determined, what I'm going to do is just grab a scrap here. Maybe something a little bit bigger. And we'll just kind of simulate the size of a book as an element on the page. And it might be bigger, smaller, we don't know yet. Let's just see what we've got to work with. And that's how I always start. So, I mean, already it's a lot of things. And I still have my list of books I have to include. So I will have my girl, who will be fussy cut. I definitely want to have my bookshelf. And I've got my journaling. So you can see it's starting to really fill up. She could sit on the journaling card. She could sit on the bookshelf. Oh, that could be cute. And then I've got these things that I'm going to cut out. And then I've got my book. So you can see it's already getting really full. But as I was kind of pulling everything together, I was thinking, okay, now I have my list of books. Here I'm just going to say a little something about Stephen King. But as far as my list of books, now I see I'm not going to have room, or I'm not going to like trying to force in a physical list, you know, running down the page like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to check off all the books that I've read. And I'm going to go to the computer. I'm going to type them out. But I'm going to type them out, I think, in different sizes, maybe even in different fonts. And then I'm going to cut them apart. And I think I'm just going to scatter them around the page. And that way, that is not dictating, you know, a list is not dictating, make room for a list. We can scatter those names all over the page. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So I'm curious, as I'm going to go through my list and take a peek here, how many of you are with me with Stephen King? Do I have other fans out there? Now, I'm not going to check any of these that I have only seen the movie for, just the books that I've read. So, you know, like I said, at the start, Stephen King has sort of there's a stereotype that, oh, he's scary, it's horror, you know, I don't like that kind of stuff. But man, he's just such a good writer. And the stories are there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of just like tying different stories together that he's written. He'll pull in a little Easter egg of some other story or a character from another story. I just love stuff like that. I think he's just so good. So I have read quite a few of these. The Green Mile, Desperation, Bag of Bones. So yeah, I just would love to know in the comments, are you a fan or are you not? Okay, so I'm going to go through my list. I'm going to finish this up. This is boring for you to watch. And I'm going to go to the computer and then I'll be back. Okay, so here we go. I just did it on some kind of ivory cardstock here, kind of thin, different fonts, different sizes. And I definitely want to have some more options as far as size. So I just took this and repeated it down here just a little bit smaller. So I have some options to cut these apart. So I will cut them apart. I was disappointed to see I've only read 18 of his 60 books that he's written, actual novels. I thought maybe it was more than that, but I guess if you don't count the movies, you know, just the books. What's kind of nice about this process is as I'm cutting each of this out, I'm reminded of the actual stories and how much I enjoyed them. And then looking at the list from Reddit, I see a wish list forming, like I need to go back and read those that I haven't read. So I've definitely marked a few of those for sure. And so I will cut all these out and I'm going to ink the edges with just some brown ink. I've got Gathered Twigs over here. And I'm kind of liking how it has almost like a ransom note feel about it, as these are all laying here in different fonts like that. So I think that's going to be fun scattered around the page. Now I just need to go to my little books here. And yes, I could have done, you know, little titles on here. Might maybe still do that. I don't know. I'm still kind of working it out here. That would be kind of fun. But I was thinking more of just coloring in the books and maybe incorporating my girl on there. So maybe I need to fussy cut her and see if that works out with the plan. All right, I have colored all my little books with marker, but they just kind of look, you know, like rectangles. There's a little bit of definition in some of these, but I did ink the edges, helped a little. But I'm going to try this Uniball gold pen because I'm looking at an image on Google over here of book spines, and a lot of them have like gold trim or some decorative lines. So I'm going to kind of play with that. You know, I'm not looking for super realism here, but I thought just to give them a little bit of help looking like an actual book, I'm going to try this out, and I think I like it. You can use different colors, but I'll hold this up and just kind of show you how that makes quite a bit of difference, I think. Okay, now is when I start to zone in and hone what the plan might be here. And I've just laid out my book ledge there. Here's a little something for my Stephen King fans with the twins with their baby blue dresses. And I know I still have my book to go here, my image. So I'm just sort of playing around, nothing is adhered. And I don't think I want to put any of these on a tilt. I want to keep everything kind of square. And it's looking pretty good, pretty happy so far. So I'm just going to keep playing around, print out my little book. I'm kind of trying to get an idea of how big the book image needs to be. And then I can print that out for right here, I think. And that's going to be way too big. So probably about, maybe a third of that size is what I'm thinking. Just kind of like that. The balance looks pretty good. So I'm going to keep fiddling around, go print my photo, and I'll be back. Okay, it's at this point that I will do my journaling. I've got my little book printed out there. I think I like it. I got a couple extra books over here. Don't think I'm going to use those. So I'm going to take a picture of this so I remember where everything goes, and then I'm going to swipe it all off of here and get it all adhered down. And I thought I would just share this with you. So I've made a decision after taking a photograph. I like to, this is my iPad. I put it over there. I stand back quite a bit and I look at it and I get a feeling. Do I like the balance? Do I like how it looks? And it seemed very heavy with the weight of this up here at the top, even though I hadn't journaled yet here. So I'm going to take a picture of an alternative idea here, and then I'm going to flip back and forth between the two on my iPad just to see which one hits me better. And I'm sure there's a reason why one would hit me better than the other. So I'm just going to do that real quick for you to see. And we will do the little flip back and forth. So there's the first one, there's the second one. So right away, I just see I like this one better. I like the weight down here better with the girls. It's more about the story. I might tweak where things land a little bit here, but that's the one I think I'm going to go with. I like that. Okay, I think I'm all set. I got everything glued down. Yep. I do need to trim off her little skirt, I think, there, because we'll see that from the other side. So let's do that really quick as I'm wrapping up. I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love to know if you are an avid reader, and if so, who is your favorite author? Oh, and if you are a Stephen King fan like me, what's your favorite Stephen King book? I'm going to get this into my planner now. If you notice, I did add this in from the last plan that I had. I felt like, we needed some weight to go with these big label things that I had stamped, the triangle thing. So I added that in at the last minute, just kind of cut it off, going off the edge, and I think that balanced it out really nicely. I hope you agree. So we'll pop it in there. This is the beginning of planner number 2. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you get some ideas when you don't have anything going on during a week. Pick something like this. Think up things on your own, things that you like, and make a category out of it and make a page. So hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you next time, next week, in the next crafty video.